you may or may not know that I've just got back from New York. I have an I Heart New York t-shirt on, which I realise now that was pointless of me putting on. It's there in spirit, you know that I've got it on. So what I wanted to do today was share with you my experiences of being in New York. I want to talk about things and then put videos in to demonstrate what I'm talking about. So I thought I would go through my favourite things that we did when we were in New York, my top tips kind of, things that you should do when you're there. I'll start with just basic travel information from my trip. We went for 6 full days and 5 nights. We got there at 12 o'clock midday on Monday and flew back on Saturday night, arriving in the UK on Sunday morning. It cost us around £750, including transfers and flights and hotel. We flew with Thomas Cook and we stayed in Hotel Pennsylvania, which is on 7th Avenue, I want to say like 33rd Street, something like that. It's opposite Madison Square Garden and it's about a 10-minute walk to Times Square, so that's just so that you can kind of see where I was located in New York. The first place that I think that you should definitely go is Times Square. Times Square has a great kind of square of restaurants. It's not a square at all, it's actually more of just an area. There's loads of restaurants, loads of places to eat, but it is very expensive. It was weird how literally going 5 minutes down the road made everything so much cheaper, whereas if you're actually in the centre like at Hard Rock Cafe or Planet Hollywood, it's a lot more expensive. So Times Square is really nice to go in, especially at night. I think it looks a lot better at night than it does during the day, so if you're not near Times Square then maybe plan a trip at night to do that. But we were 10 minutes away, so we literally walked in and out of Times Square pretty much every day during the day and during the evening. Times Square also has good like shops, like it has a massive Sephora, massive H&M. There's the Times Square big screen, which is good because it kind of puts you on there, like it has a camera and then suddenly your face will be on there, which is quite cool. On the second day we did the 9/11 memorial and saw the World Trade Center and went to the Statue of Liberty. So the 9/11 memorial, so where the Twin Towers used to be, there's now these massive memorials, kind of like big squares with everyone's name who died around it, and then a massive fountain. But on pictures it looks so small, and in real life it is huge. It's so big. I thought they were going to be these little small square things. They're the size of the buildings, so they're massive. There was something about it. We kind of were walking towards it and you can see the World Trade Center. It's kind of made of reflective material. I don't know if it's glass or mirrors or what, but if it's like a nice day with a few clouds, it reflects the clouds, which looks beautiful. But we were walking towards that and we literally walked through some trees and then you see the two memorials, and just something, I don't know what it is, something in the air, I think because everybody knows what happened. It's just emotional. Then after that we went into the 9/11 museum, which is a museum about obviously everything that happened on that day. And they have artifacts and things that were there on the day, and like fire trucks that were there on the day, and it's constantly showing you videos of it happening, and there's phone calls. It's very distressing to see it. You could spend all day in there. We spent a few hours in there, maybe 3 hours. I will say that it goes on and on, like you feel like you're at the end and then you're not even halfway. It is really well put together. There's a movie that you can watch that's 10 minutes. You don't have to do that, but I recommend that you do that. Again, it's very emotional. It shows you it happening again, which of course everybody remembers where they were when it happened if you were alive at that point. Then after that we went to the Statue of Liberty. So we did a boat trip. I wasn't really bothered about, you know, going up the Statue of Liberty. It was fine to see it. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Apparently a lot of people say that. To get to the Statue of Liberty, that's right at the bottom of Manhattan. So if you're in the middle or you're near Central Park, you'll need to get a subway. A subway is a very weird experience. If you're English and you live in England or you live in London and you've been on the tube, it's like a very, very old version of the tube to me. But it's a lot cheaper. It was like $2 a time and you could go anywhere on a line. You could literally go from, we went from Times Square to Coney Island, which is at the bottom of Brooklyn, which is like a 45-minute tube thing, and that was, I'm going to say that was like $2.40, something ridiculous. what was I talking about? Okay, so after the Statue of Liberty, we got the subway back, obviously. There were these amazing street dancers just in the subway, like doing all this crazy dancing, and they were really good. And then afterwards they were asking for tips, which is obviously fair enough. But they were amazing, so I'm actually just going to show you a video of that right now. Then what we did is we went up the Empire State Building. I think that if you go up the Rockefeller, you have a better view of New York because you have the Empire State Building in there as well, in the skyline. So I think that view is actually better than going up the Empire State Building. Empire State was about $30 to go up, if I'm not mistaken, and it made me feel very, very on edge. I'm not massively scared of heights, but my feet were sweating like and throbbing. It was that feeling of, you know, when you look over the edge of a high cliff, but constantly. And we were up there for, I'd say, about an hour. Like, you are so high up, I can't even explain. On pictures you see how high up you are, but until you're there you don't get the feeling of being that high up. Pictures just don't do New York justice at all. Pictures of the skyline, it's so much more beautiful in real life, so much more beautiful when you experience it actually being there. And if you're scared of heights, you're probably not going to like it, and if you're claustrophobic, you're not going to like it, because you can't, when you're up there, you can't really get down quickly. We walked to Central Park from the Empire State Building, which, let me tell you, is a walk. But you walk down Fifth Avenue to get to Central Park, and that's where all the amazing shops are. Designer shops, high street shops. Just the best place to shop is definitely Fifth Avenue. Shopping is definitely a big thing to do when you're there. Victoria's Secret is great, a lot cheaper than it is in the UK. Forever 21 is cheaper than it is in the UK and good. H&M has more stuff, but it's about the same price as it is in the UK. Topshop is more expensive over there than it is here, so definitely dedicate one day to shopping. We dedicated our last day to shopping. Then at night we went to TGI Fridays for tea. I used to work at TGI, so that's why we went, because I feel like TGI is definitely a classic American restaurant. Again, it's cheaper than it is in the UK. We were on Fifth Avenue, so it's more expensive than it is other places in America. I know that when I went to Florida TGI's, it was a lot cheaper than the one in New York. We had these really cool cocktails that had candy floss in them, or cotton candy. And then you pour the alcohol over the top and it kind of melts into the drink. That was really nice and really interesting. On the same night we went up the Rockefeller. This was at night time, but basically you go to the Rockefeller Centre and you just ask to go to the bar that's on the whatever floor it is. At night that is beautiful. You see all New York sky like lit up, which is amazing. It was expensive, obviously. It's a skyline bar, they're way more expensive. We went to a few while we were there. All of them are more expensive than normal bars. Irish bars are really cheap if you're looking for a cheap place to drink. And then the day after that we got the subway to Brooklyn and we went to Coney Island, which is like a fairground. I would say it's kind of like Blackpool. It's very old looking, like it looks like something fresh out of Greece, you know, the fairground in Greece. It kind of looks something from the 50s, so we literally just went and sunbathed, played on the sand, messed around a little bit. We did like pyramids and cheerleading on the beach, and they also have the original hot dog, like, you know, like a classic New York hot dog. They have the original one there. I had it. It was more expensive than normal. I feel like it was about $5–6, whereas on a hot dog stand they're like $2–3. So it is more expensive for quite a small hot dog, but it was really tasty. What else do I recommend doing while we were there? Definitely go to a few skyline bars while you're there if you can. It's also worth noting, if you're like a UK youth like I am and you go out on a Saturday night and stay out till 4 AM, you can't really do that in New York. You can if you really try and you don't mind walking around a lot. Irish bars tend to stay open a lot there, but New York aren't big on the binge drinking like we are, certainly not as much, so you won't see people pissed vomiting in the street on a Friday night in New York. And their bars kind of shut up 1, instead of at like 3 where they show at 3 here normally. That's everything that I can think of recommending to do. Please subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. If you're new, hi by the way, I'm Hannah, nice to meet you. So I will see you next time. Hopefully I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week from now on. If you want to know how I did this makeup, I did a tutorial on it, so I will link that below. And yeah, make sure that you follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, all those fun things, and I will see you next time. Bye!